Hello, hello, hello. My name is NicholassRivas. I talk about politics and stuff. And today we're going to be talking about the new Elon Musk Twitter deal going official. So I'm very conflicted when it comes to Elon. I kind of like the guy, even though I think politically I don't go along with a lot of his ideas. I respect to have someone, especially in the day of age, in a world where we have Trumps and we have Lauren Boeberts and Marjorie Taylor Greens who are anti-science, and even though this guy is pretty right wing, at least he's a man of science. He's consistent on his push for electric cars and his space exploration and his ideas of the tunnels, Starlink. Like, this man is a real life Tony Stark, in the sense of he really is trying to, from what it seems, help people with these kooky ideas because he has the powers and resources. Now, is he successful in these? I don't believe so. Do I want him to use his powers for better? Of course. Do I believe that his powers and his fame and intellect is, I think, just misused? I 100% believe that. I mean, me coming from a guy who's never invented anything, who's never invested in a big firm, big money, who's ever, come from wealth like he has, I don't know how it is. I can't pin anything, but I can definitely, I can explain that given his circumstances, he is kind of giving us a two-step forward, one-step back kind of mindset. And I get it. Not everyone's perfect. Rome wasn't built in a day. I don't expect his Tesla cars not to all be perfect. And we take any stride we can, given that he's really one of the main guys who took electric cars seriously in the United States. We have to thank him for that. But it doesn't excuse his, I guess, fair criticisms. And with this Twitter deal, I think it's fair to criticize him and say that he's probably not going to change much, which is hilarious. It's funny to think that people are freaking out. I think rightly so, given that he hasn't done as much as I think most people expected him to. And with Twitter, they're really having him up in the air thinking he's going to make some change, when in reality, a lot of his, and this is my criticism, with his past, he hasn't done much to really impress people on a consistent basis. The guy is, really pushing for stuff like Tesla, but then Tesla has a reputation of having technology that isn't where it should be. The self-driving car aspect isn't where many people feel comfortable with. Many people feel that his tunnel system was delayed because he just doesn't have the vision that it should be. I mean, he had this vision of this cool tunnel system, and it didn't come out to be what it meant to be. And on top of all of this, it's very easy to remember that this man is a capitalist at heart. And so when you think of something like public transportation, he looks at that and goes, ew, even though that's a pretty good solution to a lot of his woes, he doesn't ride around with the poor people. We got to remember this. He's one of the richest men in the world. I think he is the richest man. And he is looking for a place to get through LA traffic like the rest of people, but he's also an elite bourgeois guy who can just take his plane out. So we have to criticize that. We have to criticize that he's not just doing this for a simple folk. When he goes to SpaceX, that's really cool, but it really is just him fulfilling a dream of exploring space, not really advancing technology the same way NASA did. But again, you take your wins when you're in this crazy world. But when you look at Twitter, you see a similar aspect. You see a man who is having the potential to really advance us, and he's taking some steps forward, but I don't believe it's enough. And I think when we try to criticize that, we're left kind of in a spot of you're just a hater, So with the Twitter thing, I don't see a world where we have a better Twitter, and I think people are freaking out in a way where everyone's kind of like, I don't really know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm seeing posts of like, oh, he's gonna bring back Trump, and I'm hearing people like right wingers saying like, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that for me. Hey, Mr. Trump, please save me from this. Like, they're looking at him like a savior, and it's like, guys, why the hell would he waste all this money on a company and risk losing more and more advertisers? Because the reason those people were even banned was because of Twitter selling out and being scared of advertisers. I don't even agree with people being banned, but I get, as a business, something I think he would know is like, yeah, you can't really combat the bot situation without doing this, that. You can't really combat the hate speech without doing, like, there's points of contention that I'm sure he's well aware of, and he's also probably thought about this of pulling out. We saw it, that he initially wanted the Twitter deal to go through sooner. It didn't go his way, or maybe he saw that the writing was on the wall, that this company was not going to be as easy as he thought and all the changes he can make. So why put that hate where he could just, bow out and say, look, guys, the deal just didn't work because they didn't want to work with me. Just as he did with the guy, I think it was Milan, where that guy needed help with the scuba diver, and Elon was like, yeah, we got you, we'll do this, that, and he never did it. Like, they needed like technology, and Elon was like, yeah, we got you, we're good, and he never brought any of that. And when Elon was also in the whole situation with Twitter itself, he kept blaming bots, and people were like, oh, okay, so is it gonna go through? And he just never, went through with it. And so he's this kind of like lackluster guy who goes halfway. I mean, he still does stuff. That's what I'm trying to preface why I like him. I don't hate him, but he's at least trying things where I think many of people appreciate that, where you're just kind of like, we really have no hope. And those scuba divers, I'm sure, appreciated the thought that, oh, he's making technology for us. But of course, it doesn't go through, and I think people have to take everything he does with a grain of salt. Like, that's the whole premise, is that you have to take it with a grain of salt, everything he does. So I think with the Twitter deal, we're gonna get people who are freaking out that they're gonna think that this place becomes just this right-wing haven of hate speech, when I don't even think that's gonna go through. But I also don't think those people thinking that Trump's gonna come back, that he is. I mean, I think the plan is, we just don't know. Like, I think Elon has set himself up to be like able to pull out, and look fine, or if it fails, he can blame others. But he's not in a position where it's going to be falling on him. Now, if Elon makes the site better for one side or the other, I think it's going to shoot himself either. Like, he's not coming out of this unscathed. He might lose this. Like, if he doesn't bring back Trump, he might save the deal. And I think the deal situation is what brought him back. I don't think he really wanted Twitter. I think he was just saying stuff like he kind of always does, but this is the time it came back. So that's why it's so hilarious. This whole situation is a guy probably took more than he could, he bit more than he can chew. So I don't see a world where he comes out of this unscathed in any capacity. I think he is going to either bring Twitter down by pleasing one side. He did not want this deal to go through. He lost money in doing so he's probably going to be like, I have to maybe keep Twitter as the same, and those people who thought he's going to save them, it's just not going to happen. I think he's also thinking, okay, if I bring back those people, I can really sink Twitter down and lose even more money, because this is not the idea I wanted. I wanted to get it cheaper. Now I've got this expensive property that is pretty volatile. We don't know. We have no fucking clue what's going to happen. And this man has been inconsistent. This man has been more than he's chewed. He's delayed things. He's also perpetuated stuff where it didn't need to be. He's unfortunately perpetuated advancements because of his personal advancement. We already have trains, yet he wants to have these tunnels, which is cool. Fine, let's do it. But those tunnels export and less people than just a plain old regular train that we could have done, but since U.S. infrastructure doesn't allow it, or you've been shunned from it, we now just have a tunnel system in Vegas that can take a few people. That's kind of more so for people with money, and poor people will just fuck you. Like, that's the mindset. Mars is a pipe dream that really is just for the rich people, and it's really just him kind of scouting with the fear that one day humanity is going to fail because of our current economic and climate policies, and instead of addressing that, he's part of those people who benefit from it. So why would he battle it? I mean, that's my whole critique of the man. On top of the whole Twitter deal, I think he is a guy who's not on our side. I mean, as regular folk, we kind of align with him when it comes to free speech, but that's where it ends, because it's his free speech, it's his personal advancement, it's his vendetta, his right-wing policies, his right-wing politics. He is not a man who is going to fight for our same liberties per se. So I'm telling people, grain of salt, he is not the guy that I think they're hoping for. So that's where the hilarity comes from, that this guy is probably not gonna succeed in any realm, because someone's gonna get pissed. Not to say I give a shit that Twitter, the way it existed anyway. I want to preface that before I end it. I don't want people being like, you're just a Twitter elite, blah blah blah. So yeah, I think it's a good place to end it, because I feel like I'm running in circles with this. I mean, the mindset of the story is that we've been here before. We've seen Elon talk about stuff, not get it done, or not get it done how we wanted. I mean, straight politician lines. So yeah, thank y'all. I'll end it here and let the gameplay ride. Gabagool.